Recorded at 2023's Equip and HNA show in Louisville, Kentucky. Here's your host, TV personality and hardscapes contractor, Matt Blashaw.
All right, so name, where you live, your business name, and your position.
You got it. Well, my name's Kyle. I live in Frankfort, Michigan, and I work for Hospenthal Outdoor Service. What was the last question?
What's your position? You own it?
Nope, just a manager.
Manager.
Yep.
Not just a manager, man.
Yeah.
You're a manager. Yeah, 'cause that's not an easy job, dude.
No.
Not an easy job. So what do you guys do? Talk to me about your whole scope of work.
Well, we started there. I started there. We were kind of getting into hardscapes, doing things like that. That's where I came from, my background and everything. So I brought a lot of that in. We did hardscape for, 4 years. Material's hard to get in our area. We got to travel about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour, depending on to get material and things like that. So it became quite difficult to be very profitable on our hardscapes and competitive in pricing, So we're starting to get out of that. Now we're doing more irrigation, kind of total lawn care. We want your grass to grow. We want your weeds to stay out. We'll be doing fertilizing and just kind of like the turf care. Get out of doing the hardscape and just focus on getting grass.
Yeah, but hardscape is tough.
Yeah.
I mean, it is. So I was going to ask you what the biggest challenge is, right, of the industry.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the city's name?
We're in Frankfort.
Frankfort. So where is that? Is that like in?
We're right on Lake Michigan.
Okay.
We're about 45 minutes west of Traverse City.
Okay, and Traverse City is a traverse.
That's where we would have to.
It is way out there.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know. So you're basically, would you say your biggest challenge is just your location?
Competition, we have a lot of guys coming from Traverse City. Mm-hmm. So they're there in the mornings. They load up their material. They have everything they need to come here, do a job. Then at the end of the day, if they forgot something that they need tomorrow, they're going to be back in Traverse. They can get it again that day. We forget something when we go up there. We got to go back, get it, come back to the job site, and then continue to work on it,
Gas.
Yeah.
Time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and SiteOne's nice because they do deliver on Fridays.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
we send them a list of what we need, and they get it to us on Friday, which is perfect.
The delivery thing is amazing.
It's cool.
Like even next day, they're like, "Hey, we got a truck open." It's like fantastic. Yep. No, that's
absolutely.
I try to utilize that as much as I possibly can, because I got a truck, but it's like, man, if my guy that's going to pick up that material could be doing something else and making me money,
right?
Have those guys deliver it, right? All right. So then, so mostly, does it get cold up there?
Sure does. Yeah, we go into snow plowing in the winter time.
Okay, so you snow plow too.
A lot of snow removal, yeah.
So what is the toughest challenge that you face personally in your job? I know you manage employees.
Yeah.
How many employees you got?
There's just 5 of us.
Okay.
One including the owner and 3 others.
Okay.
So we've had a couple more, a couple less within the years. I guess my toughest thing that I would say is just, I guess maybe I expect a little bit more out of people, and I think more nowadays it's getting more difficult. It's just simple tasks that we're kind of asking for somebody to do, and they really just can't do it.
You're like, it's just one job, man.
And it's simple, so that, and yeah, I don't know. I don't think my job is too difficult. I enjoy what I'm doing, and it's just kind of natural. That's why I stay doing it.
So you're the 9th person, right? I think we've had 9 people or 10 people that say employees, right? It's trying to get the employees. How many people, what's the population of your city?
I'm not sure. It's not very big.
Not very big. So you have
a couple thousand.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
talk about a labor shortage, right? So how do you keep those guys there? How do you incentivize them?
We keep a pretty tight group now. Everybody's kind of like family. We're all good at hanging out, after work. Nobody just really gets to the shop and says, all right, I'm out of here, gets in their car and jets. We'll all hang out, talk about the day. Boss buys lunch a lot of times. Just kind of things, see somebody struggling, if you can help them out, ask if you can help them out. And just things like that, to keep the guys that don't want to go find a job somewhere else. I don't want to work for anybody else. I will say the owner of my company is the nicest guy I've ever worked for.
Oh, that's good.
So
that's good.
That helps out.
Did you hear that, owner of the company? Yeah. Like promotion.
He is. He's too nice, sometimes.
So what are some of the current trends of your green industry, right? Things that you're new. I mean, because we got these battery operated, mowers, or what's the trends you see?
We're trying to We're trying to put good stripes in your yards. We're looking into roller kits. We found a good one this year that does a really good job at striping the lawn. Even dead grass, this thing can roll and stripe lawns. And just kind of trying to stick out. We do that. We do a little bit more edging now than we used to ever do. Every crew's just got a stick edger on them. So if the sidewalk's sitting there and you're kind of waiting for the guy to finish blowing off, grab that edger, edge that sidewalk real quick, and they'll come home, pull in, and go up. Sweet. We're trying to bring the striping kits out there and get good stripes in the lawns and also edge sidewalks and walkways and things like that.
Because what is that? I mean, what is that? 5 minutes? 3 minutes of your time?
Mm-hmm. And then when they don't see a bill for it, they're like, wow, these people really just, the last company asked if I'd pay them to edge my sidewalk. We're there, we're mowing, we want your lawn to be good. If we're making good profit off of you, we can afford to do things like that, because not everybody has a sidewalk that's edgeable.
Yeah.
So
go the extra mile.
That's right.
That's what I'm doing in my business. I'll see something where I go, oh man, you got this little brick, they got some mortar, I got the mortar, going over here.
Right.
I just tell my guys, hey, Jose, hit that over there for me.
That's right.
And one guy was like, dude, you fixed that stone. I've been looking at that for 2 years.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep. No, and that'll go a long way. They'll tell their friends, they'll tell their neighbors, they'll tell everybody that this guy's just out to take care of you.
Yeah.
Not just here for your wallet.
Exactly. Yeah, he didn't ask. He's like, and I think he gave me $50 more. So I'm like, dude, I'm not.
Usually what
yeah. I'm like, I'm not asking for money. I'm just, I want your yard to look good.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Once you put that behind it and they know that you're out for their best interest in terms of customer service and quality, they're like, oh man, like you got a customer for life. And I think that's what it is.
And that's the best way that we finding to pick up good customers. You can go out there, advertise, and put door hangers out. Those are the people that are looking for the cheapest price. That's why they're willing to change.
Interesting.
Because that card's hard to describe what you're offering, and their neighbor telling them that this guy is just great. He takes care of me. He always does good for us. They're going to say, I don't care how much he wants, as long as it's reasonable. We're going to go with him.
Set your price, stick to your price.
That's right.
Right? Because you're going to be angry, right? Because you're just going to be like, well, I'm not getting paid enough for this. So, you just stick to it and just be like, well, if they try to barter you down, I always say, feel free.
Yep. We do.
Yep. And that's a great way of doing it.
Absolutely.
All right. So tell me about a success story, like a really good success story that you've had. How long have you been doing this?
Man, I got on a lawnmower. I don't know. I was probably 8 or 10.
Oh, man.
Dad told me if I could get it, it was a zero turn. Said if I could get it off the trailer, I could mow the lawn with it. Oh, he helped me put the gate down, and I got the mower off the trailer.
That's awesome.
But the hardscaping, I worked for a company for 5 years, like right out of high school, that didn't own a lawnmower. It was just all hardscape, So I learned a lot working for them. We had some pretty good jobs down there. I moved up to northern Michigan, and I think did the biggest job that I've ever done up here. It was about 2 years ago. It was 17 steps up. Dorsal lock block, patio, fire pit ring. It's just a beautiful job.
Awesome.
I mean, border down the driveway with just a view of Lake Michigan and the harbor there.
Hopefully you got some pictures for the website.
Oh, we sure did. And more to come because she's getting the gardens and everything more established now.
Yeah.
It was a brand new build, so
and that
takes some time for everything to fill in and come together.
And that's important. A lot of contractors don't do it. They just kind of want to move on to the next thing. But man, that is your best advertising, do you think?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and that's one thing that we're really trying to wrap our head around now is a good way on what we can do best for advertising to show new things. We wrap a trailer and it's there, it's done. Can't change it. And unless you can spend a bunch of money. But what is there besides a billboard trailer that you could show, you'd mow a lawn and it looks really good, the sunlight's perfect, take a picture of it. Now you can put it on the side of the trailer and somebody can see.
That's awesome.
Different times of years you can do more, to advertise what you're looking for that type of year. In the fall you can put, sprinklers being blown out. Put a picture of that on.
Yeah.
And then you go, oh, that's a good reminder.
Yeah.
Call that.
Got to call the sprinkler.
How do you get? Yeah, that's going to be our next kind of big move that we want to make is figure out our best advertising or way we can go without just doing one thing.
So a couple things. I'm highly impressed. So I'm born and raised in California.
Right on.
Was there for 45 years. Moved to Kansas City 2 years ago, right? all of a sudden I was driving down the road in October and I'm looking at these people blowing air through their sprinklers and I go, what on earth is going on? Like, what is going on? And I called, and I talked to my wife. And she goes, "Oh, they're blowing out their sprinklers." And I was like, "Why?"
Why?
Because it freezes. And I was like, "Oh my gosh!" Like the things that you don't think about.
Oh, exactly.
With the weather, right? And maybe clients won't think about that.
Right.
But that's
Until
an
it's late.
opportunity.
And then they're calling and it's like, oh, we're full, or, you know, a lot of companies, they rent a compressor. You know, we own our own compressor. So you can call us any time of day. We can come over, blow your system out, and take care of it.
Yeah, it just have it automatic. Hey, like, hey, could I? Would it be okay if we come out automatically and do this for you?
Absolutely.
You know, absolutely, that'd be great. Another thing that I love, man, I know you're probably this way since you've been riding a lawnmower since you were 10. These guys are amazing. They're like NASCAR drivers on it. This guy had a lawn with leaves.
Mm-hmm.
He had a backpack blower and was mowing the lawn while he was blowing the leaves into a circle. And then he came and I went.
Efficient.
I mean, I was like, I could have watched that guy forever. Just amazing.
Yeah.
You know?
To the next level.
Yeah. That is like, I was like, wow, man, I have reached the pros.
There you go.
Yeah, it's amazing. All right, so tell me a couple more questions. Tell me your worst or your horror story, the worst thing that's happened to you. And what did you learn from it?
That's a good one. First thing that came to my mind is we had a really good customer of ours. We ended up buying a separate mower, a smaller walk-behind mower because it was super steep hill. We mowed the lawn for a couple of years with that mower, and she had another company that was kind of doing the aerating and the thatching of the lawn. Showed up there one day to mow the lawn, and you could tell that somebody took the aerator right down the hill and right into the worst. So we show up a couple of times later. She might not have been there at that time, and we come back and start mowing. She comes out and she says, I don't want you guys to roll that off. Well, she says, you guys tore up my hill. We went off in the woods, and I just immediately were like trying to explain to her, like, man, that was not us. You know, we did not, like, look at all the holes that drug down. And she's like, you guys tore up the yard trying to get your piece of equipment out. We just couldn't. She was losing her mind. You know, that was like.
I couldn't explain it.
No. And
whose was it?
It was a company that she had hired.
Oh, no way.
She just was losing her mind. I mean, she didn't know, and there was nobody around that we could contact. She took care of everything. We tried to see if, you know, we could just explaining that this was not us. And yeah, she ended up letting us go and never called us back for it.
Great. So here's the lesson. What I think.
Yeah.
You can't argue.
Nope.
Right? Because I know it's an old saying, but customer's always right.
That's right.
You got to try to come up with a solution. Yeah. And sometimes there isn't one.
Right.
And you just got to say, okay, we're we're just going to have to part ways. But try to come up with a solution.
Yep.
Right. And if it doesn't work, then, you know, that's just the way that it is.
Yeah. It was being push mode, and she wasn't able to afford how long it was taking for us to push mow. So we stepped up and said, we'll buy a mower. It had to be bagged. That's why I was being push mode, and our big zero turns were on baggers. So we bought the walk behind with a side shoe so we could bag. I mean, we were doing everything.
You could.
In 1 year. So there she goes.
Well,
so it happens.
Yeah, it does.
Take it when you can and leave it when you have to.
You just roll. Yeah, you just got to roll with it.
Yep.
All right. Last thing. What would you give the advice? Like, let's say, you know, a kid's trying to get into the industry, wants to get into the green industry.
Just work hard. You know, don't be afraid to have to do it yourself. If you can't find somebody to do it, the only other person that's going to do it is you. And if you want that business, you'll go out there and do it, you know, because it's not going to keep going unless somebody's getting the jobs done.
Yeah.
And it's difficult to find people that not only are willing to do the job, but for a fair wage and with a fair efficiency, you know. And some people just want to come to work to sit around and do nothing.
Yeah.
But make $40 an hour.
Yeah.
If you're going to come and work hard all day, every day, you're going to have to pay them there, you know, but they will make you money, you know, so, and if nobody's going to do it, you got to.
It's got to be you. Well, I always say you don't deserve anything, right?
Right.
Because I know everybody, like, they walk around, they're just like, well, I deserve.
Yeah.
Like, no.
No, I see my boss all the time. He's got to pick up the slack. And I mean, it's not necessarily the slack. It's just everybody's got their own thing going on. It's not practical for one of us to drop what we're doing to go do it. Mm-hmm. And there's nobody else to do it. We just got to go. And I mean, he works every day, 24/7. You know, that guy's working when he gets home. And he's working when before we even get there.
Oh, tell me about it. I'm an owner of a company. My wife says the same thing.
You
She's
don't
like,
do it, it's probably not going very well.
You're the last man on it.
So, that's right.
Awesome, man. Great talking to you.
Absolutely.
Congrats. I don't know if I'm ever going to go up there and see you,
Hey,
but if I do.
if you do, you bring your coat.
Oh, man, a big one. My parka. All right, brother. Thank you, brother.
Thanks for tuning in to Confessions of the Craft. Ensure you never miss an episode by subscribing to the podcast so you can be the first to hear new episodes and discover previous ones. Follow SiteOne on Facebook, X, formerly known as Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn for the latest trends and industry updates.